Hi, I'm Fraser Douglas, the avid tent camper.
In this video, I will introduce the Norlund Voyageur hatchet and explain why it is a poor choice for modern tent camping chores. I decided to review this particular hatchet because it is highly praised by many axe collectors as one of the best choices for camping despite its obvious limitations.
Let me begin by giving you a little history of the Norlund Company.
The O.A. Norlund Company was established in 1968 as a subsidiary of the Man Edge Tool Company in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. It was established after the president of the Man Company traveled to a Scandinavian axe factory to learn advanced axe manufacturing techniques. Over the next 18 years, Norlund offered a variety of axes and earned the reputation of making some of the best quality American axes available. Their fit and finish was excellent. One item in their line was the small Voyageur hatchet. Some of these hatchets have the word Voyageur stamped near the pole, and some do not. Although the factory closed in 1986, Norlund axes and hatchets are highly valued by contemporary axe collectors.
Now, let me describe modern tent camping and the typical uses of a camp hatchet.
Most camping families camp in developed state and federal campgrounds where they cannot cut live trees and frequently cannot find or remove downed dead wood. Typically, they do not delimb trees, make feather sticks, or carve eating utensils. Instead, they must buy bundles of firewood and then split each piece to make kindling and small stove wood. For larger pieces, the first split requires considerable force. Once it has been split once or twice, splitting small pieces requires less force and more accuracy. Occasionally, modern tent campers may want to use their axe to make a splitting wedge from a piece of firewood, a baton, or a walking stick.
And now let me describe 6 limitations of the Norlund Voyageur as a camp hatchet.
Norlund Voyageur hatchets can be easily found on eBay, but they are expensive. I bought mine in 2015 for $115. This would be $78 more than my Collins hatchet and $6 more than a new S.A. Wetterling's Expedition. Since 2015, the price of these hatchets has increased. During the third week of August 2016, I checked eBay and found 9 Norlund Voyageur hatchets for sale. Their final bids and buy-it-now prices range from $107 to $250, depending upon their condition. The Voyageur's Hudson Bay head pattern may be effective for felling trees, but is poorly suited for splitting firewood because it has a relatively large exposed handle area that can be easily damaged by inadvertent overstrikes. Specifically, the Voyageur's overstrike zone is more than 1.5 inches long, while this Collins zone is less than 1/2 inch long. This means that the Voyageur handle will require early replacement unless the zone can be adequately protected. Most experienced woodcrafters prefer axes and mauls with large rectangular heads for splitting logs. Like many other vintage American hatchets, the Voyageur head has a high center line and tapered cheeks. This high center line was designed to reduce sticking in the wood, but it increases the risk of pushing split wood toward the handle and thus damaging the handle. Most woodcrafters prefer axes with flat grinds when splitting logs. The Voyageur's head is exceptionally light, weighing only 14 ounces. When I hit this log the first time with ordinary force, the bit bounced back and did not stick in the wood. It barely wedged the second time with a little more force. Most experienced woodcrafters prefer axes and mauls with heavier heads because heavier heads require less downward effort and allow better control. Most scout or camp hatchets weigh about 1 pound 4 ounces, and this Collins hatchet weighs 1 pound 12 ounces. The Voyageur handle is only 11 inches long. Although hatchets with shorter handles are easier to pack, hatchets with longer handles are safer and more efficient splitters. Most camp hatchets have 12 to 15 inch handles, and most experienced woodcrafters prefer the hatchets with longer handles. And lastly, let me say something about the sheath. Many Voyageurs are sold without a sheath. If you're lucky enough to find one with an original sheath, the sheath may be brittle or rotten and unable to withstand the ordinary daily abuse. The oldest sheaths had rough exterior surfaces and a crude thong to secure the hatchet. More recent sheaths had smooth exterior surface, a strap, and buckle, but the strap is likely to be damaged from repeated buckling and unbuckling. So even if you buy one with a sheath, you may have to buy or make a new one.
To be fair, let me comment on some of the positive features of this Norlund Voyageur hatchet.
Rockwell hardness scale values for this hatchet are not available, but these tools have a reputation for being well made, and my hatchet's bit seems to be just as hard as any other good hatchet, so the edge should remain sharp after many hours of use. The Voyageur's bit is roughly comparable to the bit of the Collins hatchet, and better suited for splitting logs than thinner bits that are found on many other camp hatchets. The Voyageur has a nice hickory handle with exceptionally fine fit and finish. The grain orientation of my Voyageur's handle was pretty good, and I assumed that it would be pretty good for most other hatchets. Despite the fact that my hatchet was at least 47 years old when I bought it, it looked almost new, and the bit was very sharp. In conclusion, the Norlund Voyageur is a beautiful and well-made hatchet that could be used to split firewood and perform other camp chores in a pinch. But modern tent campers would be well advised to find a more economical and efficient wood splitting tool. The only campers that may want to consider this hatchet are backpackers and motorcycle campers who have limited packing space.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this review of the Norlund Voyageur hatchet and that you've learned a little bit more about hatchets that will help you find the hatchet that best suits your particular needs.
For more information about camp hatchets, please read my book, Basic Tent Camping. Visit my website, www.basictentcamping.com, and visit my Facebook page, Modern Tent Camping.
Remember, take more trips, travel further, visit more attractions, and save money. Go tent camping.